Welcome to the Queen of Scream. Tonight's story is The Night Shift Caller, which is near and dear to me because I was a night shift nurse, working private duty and hospice with the people that are dying. So, as you can imagine, I have plenty of real stories. And if you'd like to hear some of those, leave a comment in the comments below. But on to the night shift caller. The phone first rang on a Tuesday. Ellen, the night nurse, sat slouched at the station, her eyelids heavy. The corridors of St. Agnes Care Facility were too quiet at this hour, 3:13 a.m., when the building seemed to sink into its own weight, when even the most restless residents surrendered to silence. She had just reached for her lukewarm coffee when the sound cut through the stillness. The ring was sharp, metallic, old-fashioned. Not the cordless by her elbow, not the wall-mounted line at the desk. This ring was deeper, slower, something from decades past. It came from the storage closet at the far end of the hall. Ellen frowned. There wasn't a phone in there, at least not anymore. The old rotary had been ripped out years before. She was even higher. The ringing persisted. She hesitated only a moment before rising, the soles of her sneakers squeaking faintly against the tile as she made her way down the corridor. The door to the closet loomed, its paint chipped, its handle crooked, as if it had been twisted too many times. She opened it, and the smell of bleach and dust struck her. And there, on the shelf, sat a black rotary phone. Its receiver rattled against the cradle as it rang. Ellen's hand trembled when she reached for it. She lifted the receiver slowly. Silence. Then, breathing. It was faint, but close. Far too close, as though the caller's lips were pressed against her ear. Hello? She whispered. There was a pause, and then a voice, dry and brittle as old paper. We're still here. The line went dead. The next morning, Ellen told herself it had been exhaustion, a trick of the senses, sleep deprivation. But when she returned the following night, unease lingered in her chest. She avoided that closet and busied herself with charts, vitals, rounds. At 3:13 a.m., the phone rang again. She froze. The sound leaked into the hall, patient, demanding. This time she forced herself to pick up. The same breathing, then the voice. The stairs are crowded. The line cut. Ellen didn't sleep when she got home. On the third night, the residents began to stir. Mr. Delaney, a skeletal man who muttered to himself through most shifts, grabbed her wrist when she leaned in to check his blood pressure. His eyes, milky, sunken, flared with sudden lucidity. Don't answer it, he hissed. If you do, you'll have to climb. Ellen's throat tightened. She asked him what he meant, but the old man had already retreated, shaking his head, rocking back and forth like a frightened child. Probably dementia. Or maybe it was the side effect of the meds. But she did answer it. She couldn't help herself. And each time she did, the voice grew louder. Not just one whisper anymore. Many. dozens, layered together, struggling to be heard. Don't look back. We're waiting. Shift's over. Time to clock in. She tried to tear the phone out of the closet. The line snapped free, wires dangling like veins. But at 3:13 a.m., the ringing returned. From the break room, from the office, even once from inside the bathroom stall, echoing in the porcelain. No matter where she went, it followed. By the end of the week, the residents screamed whenever she resisted. That night, when the clock clicked over to 3:13 a.m., every room erupted. Elderly voices wailed in unison, begging, shrieking, choking. The cacophony drove Ellen to the phone. She lifted the receiver with shaking hands, and for the first time, there was no voice, only silence. Then came the click, and after it, the sound of footsteps. Behind her, Ellen turned. The corridor stretched unnaturally long, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Doors yawned open, blacker than they should have been. Figures filled the doorways, pale and indistinct, their faces warped, stretched thin like wet paper. They did not step forward, but she felt the pull all the same, a terrible gravity drawing her toward them. Her vision blurred, and then she was no longer in the hall. She was on the stairs. The stairwell spiraled endlessly, concrete and shadow, up and down with no end in sight. The air was heavy, each breath thick as oil. Ellen climbed, her body sluggish, her legs weighed down as though chains bound her ankles. The whispers returned, 1,000 voices brushing against her skin like moth wings. Keep moving. They're behind you. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. She risked a glance over her shoulder. Shadows surged upward, a tide of grasping hands and hollow faces. Their mouths opened wider than possible, jaws splitting, black voids inside. Ellen screamed and forced herself higher and higher and higher. Her heart pounded, each step agony. But the stairs wound down forever, up and up and up and up, without pause, without exit. The phone was ringing somewhere below, echoing off the concrete, pulling at her like a hook in her chest. No one at St. Agnes saw Ellen again after that night. Her badge was still at the desk. Her coffee sat half finished. The only sound reported by the residents was a phone ringing, echoing faintly through the halls at 3:13 a.m. And if you are awake at that hour, if you hear a phone ringing where no phone should be, whatever you do, don't answer it. Because once you do, you'll start climbing too. And those stairs never end. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more spooky stories, more horror film reviews. And if you love horror, you should be here at the Queen of Scream.